Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Is it true that Ripple didn't sell any XRP in November of this year? Well, there's a lot of rumors going around and confusion, I think it's fair to say, so I'm going to get to the heart of that. Look at the title of this article on your screen. Ripple transfers 1 billion XRP tokens from Escrow, a wallet, and back again. And so, of course, as I'm sure just about everybody listening to this channel knows, although there are always new people joining the XRP community, so maybe not, but 1 billion XRP comes out of Escrow every single month, and then whatever isn't sold, the understanding is that it goes back into Escrow. And in this particular case, 100% of the 1 billion XRP went back into Escrow. So I've got some thoughts and some facts that you may not be aware of. Other than that, I've got some tweets from the XRP community I want to share with you, including a couple from David Schwartz, who of course is Ripple's CTO and co-creator of the XRP ledger. It's partly on the concept of escrow, Ripple's escrow of XRP, and I think the conversation started out around Libra. But anyway, I'll get into it a little bit later in the video. Before we go any further, though, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It's good times here. So this first article I got from Robert Thompson. He tagged me along with the digital asset investor, my fellow XRP YouTubers, and so shout out to you, Robert. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And let's go ahead and dig in here. Whale Alert, the ever-vigilant live tracker for cryptocurrency transactions, noted that Ripple transferred a total of 1 billion XRP tokens from its escrow wallet on December 2nd. The blockchain-based payments firm moved the massive amount of tokens in two separate transactions, worth around $219 million in total as of press time. Interestingly, the company transferred the exact same amount of tokens back into escrow only 7 minutes later, this time in 3 separate transactions. And so this is what the world of crypto media was really getting about today. I've got like 3 articles open. I'm probably just going to cover this one here. They're mostly talking about the same thing, but here's one from Daily Hodl. Did Ripple sell $0 worth of XRP in November? Massive crypto transfers trigger confusion. Here's one from AMB Crypto titled, Ripple returns 1 billion XRP released from escrow this month. Anyway, continuing with the Cointelegraph piece, though. This isn't the first time that Ripple has executed such enormous transactions. The practice has raised concerns among the XRP community as some of its members fear that Ripple is dumping XRP and crashing the token's price. This is not going to be a video debunking that. I've done that a bazillion times. I thinkly's a word now. I thinkly that I did it roughly 11 billion times. All right, I think I'm going to move on. In August, a Change.org petition entitled Stop Ripple Dumping was launched, and that was a fun, remember Crypto Bitlord, followed by a more sarcastic petition in September urging Ripple to increase the dumping of XRP and unleash the utility, which I found comical. Anyway, the XRP community previously threatened the company's execs with staging a takeover if they do not start to pay attention to these concerns. Now, I want to be clear. There's like a fringe element of the XRP community that feels this way and maybe participated, but it's like about 0% of the XRP community. The vast majority of the XRP community at large, I feel very safe in saying, because I'm all over, Twitter constantly, that is not the sentiment that Ripple's doing something wrong. They're obviously fantastic stewards of the XRP ecosystem. So you've got maybe some fringe members of the XRP community, if I could categorize them as such, along with some Bitcoin maximalists here. Anyway, XRP's price has been steadily declining over the past few months, although several new partnerships have been established. Just recently, a major money transmission network, MoneyGram, announced that the San Francisco-based company Ripple had completed its original commitment with a final $20 million investment. So right here, and I do want to pull, actually I will pull up this, I just want to highlight, I think this is the article. Here we go. So here are the actual whale alerts, the 3 transfers of the billion XRP going back in. So one was 500 million XRP transferred back into escrow. Here's another one for 400 million, and then the last transaction, which is 100 million XRP. And as far as the rationale for doing it in 3 chunks like that, I don't know. I mean, it would be pure speculation. There may be some reason. Is it more like in case whoever's transferring it, just to ensure in case they have fat fingers and type something wrong and then XRP's lost forever? I'm just kidding. I don't know what the reason is for that, though. Here's a tweet, though, from Leonidas, and he was highlighting this. He wrote, 1 billion XRP went back into escrow this month, which Galgatron retweeted, and he wrote the following. For those of you that are wondering what Ripple's 1 billion XRP returning to escrow means, it just means Ripple is turning away purchasers and forcing them to go to the retail market as planned. There's ample circulating supply. And now, there's certainly something to that. I think there's no question. Ripple's made it very clear that based on the metrics that they're tracking now, because they only want to sell a certain percentage of their XRP based on the volume in the market at any given moment, they've absolutely reduced the amount of XRP that was sold in the third quarter, and I'm sure that's spilling into the whole concept. It's going to be the same for the fourth quarter here. And so it really, as Galvatron stated here, he's absolutely right. It's a very salient point that it has to do with how much is available, how much is actually being sold on a regular basis. But I do want to say this, though. Just because all of the XRP that came out of escrow was put back in, it doesn't mean that no XRP was sold necessarily. And then here, let me explain why. Ripple, there's how much is in escrow now? I think I reported recently, or it was announced recently, the articles all over the place, that it's like just a hair under 50 billion. I apologize if I'm mistaken. I think that's what it's at. And so Ripple has billions of additional XRP that's not in that. It's not included in escrow right now. And so they could have just sold from a different stash. And if that's the case, given that Ripple's the most transparent company in the world of blockchain, we're going to know about it because they're going to tell us. And so we'll be able to see exactly what those numbers are, and that would be in January. Usually about 3 weeks into January is when I would expect that report to be released. So we will see. I also wanted to cite something else, and so I kind of wish I had saved it for this video, but I was scrolling through my Twitter feed, and somebody highlighted with a link to the transaction showing that the same thing happened in October, just didn't get any media attention, but apparently 100% of the 1 billion XRP that came out of escrow in October also went back in. And so I would find it surprising if both October and November went by and they chose to not sell any extra. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting this messed up. It would be December and October. So it'd be weird if a couple of the months out of this quarter they didn't sell anything. They didn't. Okay, cool, because they understand what's going on in terms of the availability of XRP within the market and how much they're willing to sell based on a percentage of those transactions. So it's fine. It's not like Ripple is, when they do sell XRP in any sort of meaningful way, suppressing the price of XRP. It's just not the case here. So, again, I think that Galvatron makes great points there, and I just want to say, beyond that, it's possible that some was sold. We'll just have to wait and see to what degree. And I'd kind of be surprised, again, if they didn't sell any, but I'm just sharing with you the facts that I am aware of right now. Next here's a tweet from Eric Dadoon. He wrote, XRP FUD. He's got two lines. The first line says, escrow gets partially distributed. Lols, they're dumping. And then the second line says, escrow gets returned in full. Lols, no one wants it. Sigh. And then he writes, ignore the noise. Know there is much going on behind the curtains. Keep building onwards with the long game. So again, with people that want to just spread FUD, there are just some people out there that you will never be able to make happy. Next, here's a tweet from XRP Preacher, who tagged me along with the Variable Bull, Sam from To the Lifeboats, and Working Money Channel. And he wrote this. Yet another dip. The price action surely will test you. Strong hands hold the XRP. Can you survive with the chosen few? It's getting dramatic. I like it. Not long to go now till we experience acceleration. And along with, and he cites me along with the other XRP YouTubers, along with us comes the celebration. So I just wanted to give a shout out to you, good sir, XRP Preacher, and thank you very much for tagging me. But to me, it's all about not financial advice. I want to be clear, don't have a financial background here. This is for entertainment only. I just really enjoy participating in the XRP community and researching this information and putting video together. It's my most favoritist hobby ever. But I do believe that over the long haul, people are going to figure out what I already believe. Utility matters. And when that comes, and it's understood in mass, Moon Lambo time, right? So there we go. All right, next here. So there is a tweet from somebody named, I'm going to butcher this, Eamon Gunsur. Yeah, there's no way I'm saying that right? But anyway, he tweeted this out. It's one thing to not want something. It's another thing to pervert the law to get that outcome. And then it's he linked to a Cointelegraph story titled, U.S. lawmakers want to brand Libra a security. Association disagrees. So David Schwartz jumped in here. And here's what he wrote on that topic. It's a transferable, enforceable claim against a counterparty whose default would cause holders to lose money. What's the argument that it's not a security? So there you go. Apparently, David Schwartz believes that the Libra coin, should it ever come to exist, would be a security. That's what I surmised from that statement. Somebody named the XRP Scam Reality. Whoa, what a catchy name. Let's be friends. He wrote this: time to pay salaries and fees, dumpy, and then tagged Ripple, along with a story from Bitcoinist titled 1 billion XRP worth $225 million released from Escrow. Still okay to hold Ripple. David Schwartz responded to that with a quote from the article. And the quote was, Ripple Inc. unlocked its monthly escrow, raising more questions about the performance of XRP. And then David writes, that was written by someone who doesn't understand how escrow works. Right? Raises questions about the performance of XRP. And of course, they don't go on to elaborate on that concept. Performance of XRP, what, in terms of price action, in terms of the way the XRP ledger is technically functioning. Nope, they just wrote something that sounds inflammatory on the surface and didn't really give any rationale for stating that. But again, whatever, Bitcoinist.com. Somebody named Nudie Blockchain equals Boyface, that's a weird name, wrote, why would you assume they don't understand? And that was in response to David Schwartz. And David Schwartz answered that question with another question, which was, what is the purpose of any escrow? And obviously, part of it is to ensure a higher level of certainty regarding the release of Ripple's XRP holdings. That's a fair part of it, right? So there you go. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for stopping by. I do appreciate the support. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!